Hell no, guys had mics. No, every big drama. Gennady Golovkin. He absolutely rips Canelo Alvarez. He says Canelo is like one big soap opera, a novella, right? Telenovela. And he's tired of seeing it. We're going to talk about Golovkin's comments in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Listen, I don't know how you found my video, but you found it. Reach one, teach one. Help others find the content by throwing a like on the video. It really goes a long way when you guys do that. It's quick, it's painless. Just throw a like on the video to encourage and show others that the content is fire. Gennady Golovkin did an interview with the LA Times, and this is what he said, quote, "I'm a little tired of this series of boxing, like carbon copy fighters. What Eddie Hearn is trying to do is present one of his fighters after another. It's like a soap opera with Canelo that we're all tired of." Wow. He said it's like a soap opera and we're all getting tired of it. He says, "It depends what we take as the criteria to determine if Canelo is the number one. After my fights with him, I don't consider him the best. It is time to face reality, have conscience to end this. There are other more interesting opportunities." So Golovkin, he has said in recent interviews, he believes he has what it takes and knows the key to beating Canelo Alvarez. Some would even argue that this is true, and some people would say that Gennady Golovkin won both fights. I definitely think that Gennady Golovkin won the first fight. I was there live as credentialed media, and that's how I saw the fight. I thought Canelo started off very good, and he kind of tapered off. And one thing to note that's very interesting with Canelo Alvarez is throughout his career, he seemingly was plagued with stamina issues, and then now as he's moved up in weight, he almost has all but alleviated these stamina issues where he would find spots, dead spots in the fight and fatigue. And he has like Energizer Bunny almost stamina. And it's like that's usually hard to do, I guess you could say. You know, it's hard to do when you are moving up in weight and you're maintaining more power, your same speed that you've showed, like the hand speed, and then also you're increasing your endurance and speed. So I really am curious. I want to see how Canelo went about doing that, because fights like Gennady Golovkin, both of them, he seemed to taper off. Fights with Danny Jacobs, guys like Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., who didn't really put up much of an effort, in my opinion. There wasn't really much adversity in that particular fight that Canelo was met with, but you could see Canelo really got tired in that fight, and so on and so forth. Austin Trout, the back half of that fight, even though the only reason he got the knockdown is because Texas, they had this BS open scoring, and Austin Trout was forced to fight very aggressively because his corner was informed of the open scoring midway through the fight, and they had Austin Trout damn near down every single round and said, "Hey man, you got to step it up. You need a knockdown to win." And if you look at that particular moment, and it's literally, you could see it on the live telecast at the time. If you look at that given moment, after his team was informed that he was so badly down on the scorecards, Austin Trout started trying to pick it up and push for a knockout, which wasn't really his style to begin. He was like more of a slickster, right? So that kind of messed him up, and that became the turning point, and it created openings for Canelo, who's a great counterpuncher, because Austin Trout was coming straight to him and fighting aggressive. And then that's when Austin Trout, do the stanky leg, do the stanky leg, do 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 do. That's exactly when he did the stanky leg, because he got too aggressive and got caught with something, you know. And it really makes me wonder, had there not been open scoring, which I'm never and have never been a fan of. I haven't really seen it used, which is good, you know, knock on wood. But I don't want to see open scoring make a comeback, because that's horrible. I don't think that the corner should be privy to, in case you don't know what open scoring is, it's this. it's basically where in the middle of the fight, they debrief the corner and allow the corner to know what the judges are scoring the rounds as. So basically, you get to know if you're doing a good job mid-fight or if you're drastically down, and you can, in essence, change your whole game plan. And I think that's corny, because at the end of the day, your team and your training camp should be put together to the point where you have to have the cognizance to know how you're doing just on the fly. Like, you shouldn't be privy to the scorecard because it influences fighter A and B, their performance. And I want to see the adjustments as a fighter you can make without knowing where you're at. And I think that should always be a mystery. So that's a whole nother issue, and I don't want to get too far off subject, but I hate open scoring. I hate it. As far as Golovkin and what he had to say, listen, I know y'all hate these moments, but the great Ego Stradamus strikes again. The great Ego Stradamus keeps doing it. I said what I said about Canelo and his opponent selection, the cherry picking, the strategy and strategic moving about. It's like Canelo, he knows that, let's say this is a war. He's in Vietnam, and he knows that he's in the jungle, and one false move, you could step on the landmine and that'll be over. So Canelo chooses not to go to the section where he knows the landmines are. The landmines are Jamal Charlo, Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, David Benavidez, Beterbiev, Bivol. So he decides to let everyone go first and or stay away from this field with the landmines. And he's tiptoeing around and saying, oh, I want to fight Makbouk Pro, Makbouk Air, and I want to fight this African that nobody's really heard of. And this is his own decision. So he's like, hey, give me props, give me credit, because I'm moving up in all this weight. But he's moving up to fight a weak link, a guy who we know is not the best cruiserweight, because not even the best cruiserweight, Tony Bellew, and that was established in the Usyk fight, and he got retired in that fight, knocked out by Usyk. Usyk knocked him out, and then Tony Bellew knocked out Makbouk. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, a guy with 2 losses and a very limited resume, hasn't really fought the big names, and only became a champion after Usyk left, and has never fought another very top fighter like Maris Bradis. It just doesn't say much. And this is what Canelo chooses to do. And I'm glad that Gennady Golovkin, guys, Max, bro, I'm glad that Golovkin is using his platform to reverberate what I've been telling you. And all the people, all the Canelo fans and Chupapi Muñeño, Cinnabon Canelo fans, they get mad when I make these videos, but they're going to keep coming, because on my channel, I tell you what I see. I tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. So I don't care about nothing else but speaking the boxing truth and, coming forward with that. And it's amazing how when you're great, such as myself, with the boxing commentary, you're always going to have support, but you're always going to have resistance as well. And my thing is this, the resistance is cool. That furthers me and makes me a better presenter and a better content curator and content creator. But notice a lot of the Canelo fans, they act like they disagree with what I have to say, but in essence, they don't really disagree, because their whole rebuttal or rebut is nothing to do with what I've said. It's like name calling, schoolyard insults. Oh, this guy sucks. You guys like this guy. A bunch of haters in the comment section. And it never really focuses on the actual content or the actual subject. You could not go to a court and be defending a court case and explaining why you don't owe Johnny $500, right? And use these types of arguments that you see from boxing fans. Like where I'm saying what I'm saying, Gennady Golovkin, a professional fighter and silver medalist, is echoing the same sentiments that I've said, and he's really corroborating what I said. He said Canelo is like one big soap opera, and they have the same promoter, but he knows what it is. And he's saying there's a bunch of carbon copies because Golovkin is a bit older than Canelo, and he does seem like more of an old school dude. So at the end of the day, he's used to the throwback fighters, the Marvin Haglers, the Roy Joneses and stuff, and Floyd Mayweather and Pacquiao, who weren't moving as cautiously as Canelo. Everybody and their mama is screaming for Canelo to fight a handful of guys. Benavidez, someone Bivol, Charlo, Beterbiev. And Canelo says, nope, I want to fight these Caucasian fighters from England, or I want to fight Caleb Plant or Average Eardrum from Turkey. These are the guys I want, knowing it's not what's good for boxing and knowing what's at stake isn't as great. You know, Yildirim, that really doesn't show me more about Canelo. And I don't expect every single fight to be your toughest fight, but you gotta, especially when you lean in and try to act like you're the people's champion, you gotta fight some of the best. Look at Errol Spence. Errol Spence got in a car wreck and fought a top 5, top 6 Danny Garcia straight away. And people say, hey, you're stupid, you're crazy. Take a tune-up first. Errol's like, nah, this is my tune-up. Hey, stop that cat, man down. And then he was about to fight Pacquiao. And an unfortunate, unexpected eye injury, is the only thing that prevented him from fulfilling that. Other than that, he would have, in my opinion, he would have stopped Pacquiao. So he would have been the one to beat Pacquiao instead of Ugas. But fate, as it has it, he got an injury and he had to pull out of the fight. But it doesn't go, it shows you got to give props to the intent. Had it not been for the injury, you know, the fight was made. I would give credit to Canelo if he made a David Benavidez fight and then for some reason David Benavidez had to pull out. All right, the intent was there on Canelo's part. But the thing is, the intent isn't there for Canelo to fight these fights. He wants to fight Triple G at age 40 when he could have already been done with the trilogy by now. So Triple G sees it. Hey, look, guys, your boy Boxingego sees it, and I know you see it. Let me know how I did in this video. Use my link to get the Hibernation 5 headphones. Great holiday gift. Also sign up for ESPN Plus. Check out some of my affiliates. If you're buying anything on Amazon, I have an Amazon storefront if you want some of the cool gadgets and gear and tech that I use, and I'll be updating that periodically. Let me know how I did in this video. Triple G says Canelo and his matchmaking is sus and is becoming very predictable, a soap opera. In them up. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation.